Right then, this is a walk around video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX automatic. As you can see here, finished in white with a full black leather interior, and this car benefits from having the urban styling pack fitted to it, which looks absolutely brilliant on the car. Got the side steps, all just adds up. It's very subtle, but it really does change the stance of the car completely. So go around the car for you. Just 50,000 miles on this particular car as well. I do apologise, it's a lovely sunny day. But unfortunately that makes for quite a glary video, so I'll do my very best for you. But as you can see there, that extra bit of trim underneath the front bumper. Lights and lenses completely clear, intact, no cracks or condensation in those. And the front of the car is very, very clean indeed. And there's hardly a stone chip anywhere on there at all. Coming down to the near side first, passenger side, and it's absolutely mirror smooth on the panels there. Front near side alloy, generally good, just a few little marks, and it looks like chaps touched in a couple of little areas as well, but as you'd expect on the near side, it's the one that is the closest to the curb, but it's actually very good indeed. Rest of the panels, again, very, very clean indeed. Near side rear alloy, can't see any marks on there at all. And coming around the back of the car, such a lovely angle for it with the running boards and the extensions and the bumpers there. The off side of the car, driver's side, as with the near side, very, very, very clean on the panels, no obvious indentations there at all. Rear offside alloy, absolutely super. I'll go back this way so the sun doesn't kind of glare quite so badly. Again, all very, very clean and tidy. And then the final alloy on the front, again, very good, just again with just a little bit of curbing right on the outside edge, you can just about make out there. But overall, we're looking at the car, it's in lovely condition, that looks absolutely fantastic. It's parked in the shade now, try and make it look slightly less glary whilst I do the interior. Boots are absolutely huge on these cars. You've got the handles there just to drop them down in one lovely smooth action as well. It's all been kept very, very nicely back here. Coming to the back of the car now. Again, you see the leather interior, which is in really, really, really lovely condition. It's also nice to see that loads of rear leg room on the car. Both those front seats, by the way, are set for me, and I'm over 6 foot tall. It just shows, how much leg room these cars actually give you. Passenger door card, again, all little recesses been kept really very nicely indeed. Again, leatherwork on the passenger seat there, really lovely condition. Let's come to the driver's side again now. All the electric window switches, electric memory switches there as well. And then driver's seat again, in really good condition. The only one that's going to obviously show any wear at all, but even that is completely proportionate to its age. It's worn very, very nicely, as they tend to do. So inside the car now, engine's running through this section, so dashboard can be seen illuminated. Dash looks absolutely super, it's in lovely condition. Sat nav, I'll just close the electric blind a second so it doesn't glare on the screen quite so much while I'm holding the camera. With sat nav you can see they're working absolutely as it should. And if I pop the car into reverse, you get that lovely clear gridded parking camera as well. But as I say, it's been kept very, very nicely indeed. Go across the dashboard itself into the binnacle there, you can see 50,922 miles. Engine's running, there's no warning lights on the vehicle at all. Multifunction steering wheel, auto lights, auto wipers. Again, all been kept absolutely fabulously, and all working exactly as intended as well, by the way. We've just been through the whole thing. It's just coming under the engine bay now. It's a real rarity to see an engine bay where you've actually got a decent amount of room to get in there and do even the most basic maintenance, and it's all absolutely fantastic here. Cam chain driven engines, no cam belts on them at all, so no big service looming. This one's just been serviced, and is about to go in for an independent MOT after this video has been done. Right then, this is a quick road test video, and this is for a Honda CR-V 2-litre EX automatic. This particular car is registered GN63UEJ, and mileage at the start of the road test is 50,916 miles. The reason for doing the road test is basically so that anyone that's actually looking at this car in an advert online actually gets to see that car in operation. A lot of our customers come from quite far afield, the whole of the UK and Europe in fact, so the least we can do is to go the time and effort to do this for you. It gives us opportunity to let you know of any obvious issues that might be on the car, because we know just how frustrating it is to go and set out to see a car which looks fine in the advert and the description, only to get there to find out when it's got a fundamental problem which you should have been told about before setting off. So hence that's why we do it. It's also done on these very quiet country roads very close to our premises, so hopefully it'll be representative of what you'd feel yourself if offered a test drive in the car. The car itself has obviously been very well maintained. It's immediately obvious as soon as you drive the car, in fact. Engine, so obviously push button starts absolutely instantly, settles to a completely solid, even idle. There are no warning lights on the dashboard at all relating to the engine or any other part of the vehicle. And temperature gauge is running at a third, and it's been running for quite some time now, and that's exactly where it should be on a Honda car, whether it be a petrol, diesel or anything else in fact. The engines themselves are just lovely, sweet natured engines, very, very refined in operation, smooth, quiet, and typically Honda, of course, incredibly reliable. They take very, very big mileages in their stride with just normal, regular maintenance. That's all they require. But it's just a fabulous engine to use day in, day out. It really is. It hasn't got any kind of harsh edge to it at all. Engine then feeds through into the automatic gearbox, which, as you'd expect from Honda, is very, very slick in operation. Very smooth gear changes, to the bordering on being imperceptible, in fact. Again, as with the engine, reputation for being a very, very tough gearbox as well, taking sort of very high mileages in their stride. Having said that, you should still do the normal checks that you should do on any gearbox, regardless of what their reputation might be. So when it's cold and when it's hot, just out of neutral into drive and into reverse, just make sure there's no kind of delays or clunks in engagement. And then the gear changes should again be nice and smooth at all times. These automatic gearboxes also have the option to change manually, or change the gears manually. They're on the paddle here on the steering wheel, so you've got a little lever here on the left hand side to go down the gearbox, right hand side to go up the gearbox. It tends to be really handy if you're going to do an overtaking manoeuvre where you just want to make sure the gearbox doesn't suddenly change up halfway through, as gearboxes tend to want to do to maximise fuel economy. So, any point at any speed, you just pull one or other tab. So if I wanted to imaginary car in front to overtake it, I pull this one back here, it selected me fourth gear, pull it back to third, put my foot down, keep it down, pass something, change up this one when I want to, not when the car's ready to. And that's it. It's as simple as that. Works perfectly, and will default back to full automatic mode within a few seconds. It's just a very, very, very nice gearbox to use. Gearbox and engine are very well matched to each other as well. Steering on the car, real strong point on these CR-Vs because it's really accurate and precise. It's not your typical SUV power steering system where it can feel kind of slightly detached from the car itself. This is really, really nicely done, very well weighted, and very confidence inspiring. I can't detect any wear in it at all, it just feels absolutely spot on. Track's absolutely dead straight. There's no vibrations that come back to the steering wheel at all, which is a bit of a pet hate of mine, up to obviously the legal limit at which I'm allowed to drive the car. Chassis of the car, obviously this is, Honda know this market incredibly well, because it's it's the best-selling SUV in the world. So they know exactly what their customers want. Basically, what they seem to want is a car that rides very, very comfortably indeed, but still maintains very good body control through the corners. It doesn't keel over with huge body roll angles, unless you obviously drive at insane speeds. Through most corners, it sweeps around them, holds its posture really well. That's really important, because the people in the back are the people that suffer in SUVs, kids with car sickness, that kind of stuff, where you get this kind of floaty lurching effect, but you get none of it in the CR-Vs. It feels really tight and taut on the road. What I'm also looking for on road tests is just any signs of any kind of mechanical noises coming up through the car, which shouldn't be there, through suspension wear, but there's nothing at all. It's absolutely spot on in that respect. Brakes on the car, just wait to get around the corner and give them a bit of a shove in a second. Make sure no one's there, but it's a really good brake pedal on the car. Again, what I'm looking for, make sure the car stops nice and straight, doesn't pull violently left or right, but also that the brake pedal doesn't exhibit any kind of tremors or pulsing when you're pressing it, which would suggest disc wear. There's nothing on it at all. It's absolutely as it should be. Looking around inside the car, the dashboard, it just looks like new in here. As I've said on the walk around video, it really is fabulous in here. They are beautifully made as well, and that's what test drives and videos can't really get across. It just feels like I've just jumped out in one off the production line. It's got that just tightness and freshness to it. It's absolutely lovely in here. No squeaks, rattles, buzz trims, nothing, and that's real build quality. Not, as I often say, this really frustrating when you read road test magazines and they come up with the same old rubbish over and over again. Same candidates are brilliantly made, everything else doesn't feel as well made. Yet the reality is, here we are in the car, 6-7 years old, 50,000 miles on the clock, and it feels like brand new. And that's what build quality is all about. It's how long it lasts and how well it feels, how well built it feels after all that time. But it also happens to be just a really fantastic dashboard to use. Very simple to operate. You get used to them within a couple of days. Everything's working exactly as it should, by the way. Air conditioning's absolutely ice cold, and it's 24 degrees outside and quite muggy, so it's doing very well to keep it cold. Sat nav working perfectly. Nice clear big screen there. Switch gears got wonderful quality of actuation. Every button you press is kind of this lovely high quality feel that you get from the Japanese manufacturers. You just know the switch is going to feel the same in 20 years time. That's how well they do these things. Dashboard itself, dead simple, easy to take the information in. Again, all working exactly as it should. And the steering wheel looks and feels pretty much as new in hand. These are obviously four-wheel drive vehicles, although you'll notice an absence of any button that engages it or disengages it, because it basically does it all for you. Honda knew very quickly when they made these cars that most people's use of the car would be, as I'm doing today, in perfectly good conditions and on perfectly good roads. So why have the four-wheel drive system whirring away when you don't need it to? All that achieves is premature tyre wear, a lot more mechanical stress put through the car, and you'll use more fuel in the process. So basically, if the front wheels do lose grip, sort of icy roads or snow or going across a muddy field, instantly and seamlessly the car senses it and brings in the rear wheels for four-wheel drive. It's absolutely brilliant in use, and I've used it loads of times. I've had too many CR-Vs to mention, and I've towed heavy caravans, gone through snow, done all of that, and never come close to getting stuck in one of them. Its simplicity is also, it gives it its reliability, by the way, because again, we've sold thousands of these cars and never so much as put a spanner on any of them. As I said at the start of the video, obviously the point of it is to pick up on any issues, no matter how small they might be, that would come across when you drove the car. There's nothing at all. It drives absolutely beautifully, this vehicle. As I said, we used to work for the Honda dealerships, so we know these cars very, very well indeed. So if there's anything obvious, we'd pick up on it straight away. Having said that, as always, if there's any questions about the car, don't hesitate, do give us a call.